So check this shit out. Let me give you the setting and the time. So right now, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay? This story happened to me, I want to say, about 2 months ago. Bullshit. So I'm out here, Jacksonville, Florida, chilling on base with my homie. I ain't got shit to do. It's a Sunday. I know good and damn well, and so does my homie, that we got work the next day. It's already 1:30. We gotta do something, anything, before we go to work tomorrow. We were just looking for, a light, fun time. We weren't trying to go out and get fucked up and none of that. Because, good and damn well, you don't came into work on the day when you was fucked up and shit wasn't happening. So anyway, we going, we chilling, and I tell him, I'm like, yo, I think we should go kayaking. And of course, his white ass is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. Do I blame him? No. But that was mistake number one. So I then proceeded to change clothes. I threw on some board shorts, a dry fit shirt, and some shoes. Just in case you happen to fall in. But obviously, I did not have the intentions of getting in. So we hop in the car, we get ready, and we roll out. Luckily, this place is right next to base. Unlucky is that this place is a fucking swamp. Now, when I say swamp, picture Shrek's swamp. Y'all know who Shrek is. Picture his swamp. Without fucking Shrek, no donkey, no fucking Fiona, none of that shit. Just that nigga swamp. Plus alligators, snakes, and snapping turtles. And whatever evil fucking shit you can manifest in your mind, that shit too. An actual swamp. For those of you that been to Florida, you know what swamp looks like, and you know what lives in swamps. Snakes, alligators, snapping turtles, pretty much all the bad shit. It's like a little mini Australia on the United States. So we go up to the guy, we chilling. I'm like, yo, hey, we trying to get some kayak rentals. What's good with that? Homie's like, it's $20, but y'all military? Yeah, bro. So he took 5 off. It was 15. That's cool. That was nice of him. So he gives us these waivers. We sign them, fill them out and shit. Permission slip, release and whatever shit so we don't sue. And goddamn, I wish I did not sign that waiver. Because if I could have, I would have sued them niggas for approximately $750. Anyway, we go ahead, fill out the paperwork, right? You know what I'm saying? Put my sick ass signature at the bottom. I hand that shit back to him along with my card. Homeboy does the same thing. Alright, takes care of that. We registered. He hands us a life vest. I strap my shit on, looking fresh, looking ready to go. Had the Ray-Bans on, had the hat on. I'm like, but hold up. I got my backpack. Just in case, God forbid, I fall in this motherfucking lake, I don't want my backpack to go in there. So, I asked homie behind the counter if he could hold on to it until we got back. My dude said, yeah, no problem. So, anyway, he's like, so when's the last time y'all went kayaking? My homie, that nigga said, didn't know what to say. My man, I'm guessing it had to be at least 10 years. I mean, the nigga only 20, so I mean, shit, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so I told him, about 4 years ago on the 4th of July. And I remember that specifically because I had a blast. Because my godfather went kayaking up the canal and came back with like 4 beers in his kayak, drunk as fuck. This man left sober with no alcohol, came back drunk with 3 beers in his kayak. Apparently, what had happened was he rode up the fucking canal. People were celebrating on the 4th of July, of course, turning up, and they threw beers to my homie. He chilled, got drunk, and kayaked all the way back. Anyway, back to the story. So he's like, well, it sounds like it's been a while for y'all. Let me give you a refresher course. I'm like, cool, refresh me. Nigga, I'm not gonna reject some more wisdom. So he tells us how to hold the fucking paddle and shit, and how to keep it orientated so you can fucking, reduce strain and fucking all that. So I'm like, cool, good to know, because nigga ain't trying to be stranded out there and tired and shit. So, fuck. So we sit down in a kayak. Not, granted, I have my own kayak. We are not sharing a kayak. Do not think we're sharing a kayak. I sit down in my kayak. He sits down in his kayak. And dude kicks me off, kicks it off the fucking grass into the lake or whatever. Kick the homie off into the lake. So we out there, he starts going ahead. So I kind of let him, go ahead to guide point because, he ain't never been kayaking before, apparently. So he's going now, he's doing his thing, and my man was getting it. Like, he was going pretty damn fast. Now, it's a windy day, too, so if you're going with the wind, it's not too bad. But when you're going against the wind, you're really putting that shit on. You better hope your upper body was where it needed to be, nigga, or else you're going to have a problem. So, anyway, I'm chilling. I'm following him, and we cut through, like, some, like, plants growing out the middle of the lake. They kind of parted, so we go through there. We come around it, and it's another big open area of the lake. So we're like, all right, there's plenty of space. You want to fuck around, even though we know specifically on that fucking release waiver or whatever, do not fuck around was right there. So anyway, we decide since we're out of sight, out of mind, we're gonna fuck around. So he's facing me about 10 yards back, and I'm facing him. We got our paddles like fucking, what's that shit called? Joust. So we're pointing them at each other, right? Then we're like, okay, we're gonna do this. So we start paddling to get momentum, then we put them back up, pretending like we're gonna poke each other off the fucking kayak. Okay, nothing, just some harmless fun. You know what I mean? We wasn't gonna actually do anything. So we get bored of that after, real like a hot second. We was bored of that shit. We're like, all right, gay, let's go. So we go out into like this little cut, kind of. It's like a cove. All right. So we paddle in, and it dawned on me that the guy who rented us a kayaks was like, oh, by the way, we saw an alligator right around the corner. Now, being from Florida, that's nothing new. You expect that, but you're not gonna be stupid and go out of your way to look for one. You know what I mean? If it's there, it's there, but you're not gonna fuck with it. So when that popped in my head, I'm like, I think we're near where that dude said he saw the alligator. Homeboy's like, shit, I don't know, man. I wasn't paying no attention. He's from Arizona. Should have been paying attention. Anyway, we're in this cut, and it's these big ass fish. They're at least 1.5 feet, jumping easy 3 feet out the water. And, you don't want one to jump and hit you in the face, but you think they got more sense than that. So we out there, chilling. Homie is in front of me again, but this time he's facing me. He's not going in one direction. So I'm chilling, and I took a picture. I took the selfie for the homegirls. Once I got back, post that shit on the gram. Boy, was I wrong. So I'm chilling, put my phone back in my pocket, and my homie starts pointing in the water next to my kayak. He's like, hey, bro, what's that? Now, whether he was fucking around or not, my first instinct was it's an alligator. The fucking alligator right next to my rack. So what I did was I stood as still as possible. So I was stiff, okay? Mistake number 2. Because as I was stiff, something on the bottom right side of my kayak bumped it. Enough to where it tilted a little bit to the left. But in addition to that, I leaned left to lean away from whatever the fuck bumped my kayak. Okay? I shit you not. The kayak was actually sideways. So picture this. Picture a kayak, like you're sitting in a kayak. Picture that shit tilted sideways where you can wrap your arm over the side and easily touch the bottom. That's what it was. My kayak was literally rotated on its side. So instinctively, I leaned back the other way to stabilize the kayak. Makes sense, right? That's what anyone would do to prevent from falling into the fucking water. What I did was miscalculate that shit. I leaned too far to the right to restabilize it, where instead of just stabilizing the kayak, I fell on top of the motherfucker. Whatever was in there, I fell on top of it. I was in there with whatever hit my fucking kayak. No. Now, I'm a grown man, but for a hot 45 seconds, I was a little fucking kid. I'm in this kayak, but my legs are still in. The kayak is upside down. I am underwater, but my legs are out of the water inside the kayak still, if you can picture that. So I'm panicking, but I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I grab the kayak while I'm upside down underwater and roll, I can flip it back over with me still in it. Practically only my top half was wet, and I wouldn't have to get entirely out of the kayak into the water with whatever's there. And this water, this is not your everyday water. This is dark green water. This is swamp. Okay? So, I grab both sides of the kayak. I'm holding my breath. And I rotate the kayak. I try to at least. That was mistake number 3. Because by doing that, I flung myself from the kayak to the bottom of the fucking lake. All right, I don't know how deep it is because I'm in a ball. Nigga, I'm wrapped up. I don't know what's out here. I don't know what's trying to get me, but I'm wrapped up. So, I'm sitting there curled up and I'm like, I can't sit like this forever. So, I reach up and swim to the top and get some air. Now, my legs are tucked. My feet are not trying to stand because I did not expect there to be a bottom. So, my legs are tucked and I'm trying to get on top of this kayak. For any of you who have tried to get in a kayak from in water, that's probably the second hardest thing there is in the fucking world to do. So, I'm on top of the kayak, like laying on it. I had just got up there, and then once I tried to go stick my leg in, flipped out the bitch again, rolled back in the water entirely. Okay, I tried this 2 more times, could not get in. You could see I had been struggling, and my homie is literally over there laughing, taking pictures or whatever the fuck. I'm struggling, I'm low on energy now, so I just give up. So I stiffen my legs, and what do you know? There's bottom. So I stood up, and the water might have came just below, my nipples. So I'm standing there, but I'm kind of worried because whatever's in that water is still there, and at the same time there are snapping turtles. So if it's one at the bottom of that lake, that nigga would have no problem biting the nigga calf off. So right now I'm in the red mode, tunnel vision, like I'm seeing dots. A nigga is panicking, but casually though, I'm keeping my composure, but mentally I'm losing my shit. So I'm thinking how I'm gonna get on this kayak without falling back in. So I'm sitting there thinking, and maybe 3 seconds have passed, and this fat little kid standing on shore, maybe about 30 yards away, is like, "Excuse me, mister." Now, I'm a nice guy. His mom was like right behind him, and I was like, "Yeah, what's up, little man?" And he's like, "There are alligators in there." And then homeboy starts pointing in the water where he thinks that is. And I'm like, "I know that, faggle, okay? I'm aware there are alligators. I don't need you to remind me of the threat, of the danger. Then don't make shit up and try to fucking hypothesize where they are because I'm already panicking." So this little nigga says that. I didn't even respond to him. I got my ass back in that kayak with no fucking problem. It was almost as if I had that shit on lock. Not only because I had my feet on the ground and I was more stable, but that nigga put the fear of God in me. So I got back in the kayak. I'm soaking wet. I'm wet to the bone, nigga. Everything is wet. My fucking hat fell off. Luckily, my homie, he had enough time to get my hat. The shit was almost dry by the time I actually got in the kayak because he's just sitting there holding it. So I'm like, well, I already know my phone is fucking done. That shit was done the first time I fell in. I fell in about 4 times. So I know that shit's well past done. But I'm like, I got my hat. I'm going to just go ahead, wrap it up, and go back. So we start kayaking back, chilling, doing our thing. I'm mad. I'm mad as fuck because, you know, I'm I'm soaking wet. And it's a little windy, so it don't feel good. I'm uncomfortable. I'm already mad that my phone's gone. And I paid fucking $15 and I was only out there for 20 minutes to go right back to fucking go home. So we're getting there and we're about halfway back to the thing. And I'm like, oh shit, let me put my sunglasses on because we were facing the sun at this point. So I reach down, go to put them on. Them shits are not around my neck like I thought they were. Now, for any of y'all that got Ray-Bans, y'all know that's not an easy L to take, especially if you're an everyday working nigga like me. All right, if you ain't made it, that shit that's a hard hit. So I shit you not, I stopped the kayak and thought for maybe 30 seconds on if I should just go back and try to find them. But then all I could picture is me reaching down in that water to feel for my sunglasses, which God knows where they could be in the fucking lake or when they fell off. But all I could picture is me getting a hold of the sunglasses and all of a sudden a snapping turtle, cleaning my shit right off. I'm talking from the elbow down. So I kept going. I took the L. I took 2 L's. And not only were they Ray-Bans, but they were a gift. Someone had gotten me those Ray-Bans. So they were expensive and they were sentimental. So I get back to the man with the fucking kayak rental, and he see me soaking fucking wet. He sees it. He already knows what's up. This nigga knew I was in that water for a hot minute. So I get out, and this man had the nerve to ask me how was it, and I told that nigga exactly what happened. I told him that was about a $550 kayak ride, including my phone and my sunglasses. So I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I get the fuck out the kayak. And then luckily I had a towel in the trunk of my car so I didn't have to sit and get my seats all wet. And thank goodness it was only a 5 minute ride back on base to the barracks. So I get there and I fucking stank. The fucking swamp water, the smell didn't hit me until I got in my room. I stank and I was like all sticky. I was just covered in bacteria and fungus. So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna just shower, then I'm gonna come back out and just address everything. You know what I mean? So I took the shower, threw the stank, wet fucking shoes I had right in the trash. I mean, directly in there with the socks. Get out the shower, and I'm thinking, all right, so my phone's fucked. I got work tomorrow. I no longer have an alarm. Waking up in the morning and not knowing what time it is, having no clue at all until you check, that shit will have your heart racing, fucking cholesterol out the fucking roof. And let me add on to that, because when your alarm goes off in the morning, you know exactly what time it is. You set the bitch. You know, you set if you set an alarm for 6:30 and your alarm goes off, you know instantly, okay, it's 6:30. There's no possible way I'm late because my alarm was set for 6:30. Comfortable, right? Sure, you don't want to get your ass up, but at least you know. Me, every morning for 6 days, 6 whole days, I woke up and had a heart attack. I'm sure my blood pressure was the highest it's ever been that week. Ever. In my entire life. I'm a young nigga. I'm sure that shit, the stress level, just, that's issue number one. Issue number two is, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll use someone's phone, call my mom, let her know, because we're on a family plan. Be like, yo, I need another phone. Can you get another one sent out here to me? So I'm like, all right, great idea. So I call her, and that's what I did. I asked her if she could send one out there, and she's like, um, I can, but you gotta send back your old one first. That's a problem because I don't actually have a mailbox to send that shit to. I live in the fucking barracks. So for a whole week, I went without a phone. A nigga had to wake up to the fucking birds and sunlight. All right, you know how scary that shit is. Damn. Anyway, so then you know, I finally came around to sending my phone back after a week. Put that shit on 2 day shipping. It got there, whatever. And then I had to ask a homie on base if I could use his house address to get my shit sent to. Thankfully, a nigga came through. But then here's a caveat to it. When they dropped the phone off, I was tracking that shit. So I knew exactly what time it got to his house. So when I got off of work, I think it was like a Monday of like a week later, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the homeboy house, pick up my phone. How about I get there? One, it's raining, okay? So if my box was outside, that shit's soaked. Maybe, if they didn't wrap it in plastic. But I knock on the door, he comes out and he's like, hey, I'm about to leave. I gotta go drop the keys off to my wife, who was walking God knows where. So I'm like, okay, that's a problem because I'm just here to pick up my phone. Like, I don't really care about all that. And he's like, oh, well, she put it somewhere. I don't know where she put it. I'm like, okay, well, can you call her and ask her real quick before you go? He's like, all right, yeah, for sure. So oh my fucking God, he calls her, and her ass says she thought it was for someone else, so she gave that shit to the neighbors. So in my head, all I could think about was punching her in her esophagus for saying some dumb shit like that. So I'm sitting there. He's like, okay, look, I'm going to go drop these keys off and I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get this figured out for you. I'm like, cool, fine, that's no problem. He goes, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go look next door. I'm going to ask myself. fuck that. So I go next door. The shit just sitting outside. So she did not give the shit to the neighbors. She set that shit on their front door and left it there. Thank God I did that, because had I not, I probably would have never got that shit back. So I grabbed it, put it in the fucking, car. I drove back, set that shit up. Shit was peachy. I was finally feeling good again. I had finally recovered from my L. So, I guess the moral of the story is, one, do not bring shit on a kayak you are not ready to lose. And I mean shit. If you give half a damn about your shoes, get in that kayak butt naked. Matter of fact, shorts. Just shorts. No drawers, no shirt. Just shorts and the provided life jacket. Because they gave that shit to you. If you lose that, that's fine. I lost my life in that lake that day. Every time I go by that lake, it's a reminder of how many L's a nigga could take in one day. So for any of y'all who plan on going kayaking this weekend, next weekend, or any time in the future, remember me and remember the L I took. Alright? Stay up. You dig?